The iSCAR TSP Cup Series has been filled with 18 weeks of dramatic and intense racing, where we are very far into the chase, and now it's the penultimate race for the championship. Drivers Connor Brandon, Derek Smith, Ryan Kendrick, Malachi Drake, Kealoha Hankins, Ryan Kwan, and Nick Miller are the last ones with a shot for a title. Tonight we will find out who's in and who's out. I'm Liam Sheen, joined by Kenneth Bueno, and we welcome you to tonight's event, where we are just wrapping up practice, just a few minutes to go. Not much longer in this chase. It's going to be a very, very exciting race tonight to find out who is in and who is out. What are your thoughts on tonight's, circumstances for the championship?
I think this is going to be a great race. It's a long race, 156 laps at this track. This track is a very tricky one. You know, they have the dog leg, especially with the open. It's open now. So you're going to see a lot of drivers use those. But I think the battle for the championship, especially within the top four, are tighter than ever. And you have those comeback stories such as Nick Miller, who's back in the point standings, but he could always make a dramatic comeback. And I think it's going to be an exciting race tonight.
Yeah, Nick Miller being 10 points out of the shot for the title at the moment. It's going to be a very, very tough or uphill battle for him to get into the championship battle. But yeah, my point standing's not showing up, but we're gonna go over to the race info. We are in round 19. The weather is 26 degrees, 32% partly cloudy, and it's 12 kilometer per hour winds. It is the oval with dogleg configuration. And 3 will be eliminated tonight, and 4 will advance. The finale for the championship will, for the final 3 championships for the 3 top series, will be on Max Speed TV next weekend. So be sure to watch their broadcast. We will be tuning in for sure to that. So overall, what do you expect, or who do you expect to be, chasing for the pole as we are coming up on qualifying here?
Well, from what we've seen previously, especially here at Phoenix, I think Ryan Kendrick is going to be strong in this one. He's already put up a good lap in practice. He's not exactly at the top of the board, but he's put up some consistent laps. And I think especially in qualifying, he's going to dial it in.
All right, practice is just wrapping up now, so we are going to be underway with qualifying here momentarily. We are going to hang on, wait a second. All right, so qualifying is about to get underway here, as we are going to hang on a second. My scoring's going a little weird right now. Yeah. All right, so qualifying has just started. Still, that's okay. That's strange. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. So as we watch this qualifying session go underway, we're gonna wait for cars to hit the track. No one's really on track at the moment. Yeah. So overall through the season, I'm not sure how long you've been here, but what do you expect to see, or who do you expect to see chasing for the pole? Or not pole, but who do you expect to be really good in the long runs?
I think a couple drivers. I think Aaron Mulrooney might be strong in the long run. He's been consistent. Obviously, he was eliminated from the chase earlier, but I think he's still going to be fighting. Remember, these chase drivers are battling with guys who aren't even in the chase, who are trying to find that win in this season and trying to add to their win this season or get a first. So I think personally, Mulrooney will have a longer run car. There's a couple cars. These chase drivers will be a little more aggressive, I think, especially this track, especially people like Nick Miller. These guys have to be aggressive and make bold moves. But personally, I think it's up for grabs, but I think Aaron Mulrooney's got this one for the long run.
All right, we are going to show your qualifying results. They're on your right side of the screen. Ryan Kendrick sitting on the provisional pole. Malachi Drake second. And others, such as Jackson Hartman third in the 95. Charlie Beyer fourth. And now Derek Smith, one of your playoff drivers, goes to the top. So he paces the top 3 being playoff drivers. Yeah. So, as this, not really much to talk about here. Nick Miller surprisingly qualifies last. He has his work cut out for him tonight, or so far last. So, not too great for him. Yeah.
Another driver to mention, Connor Brannon is sitting in third right now with his lap. Obviously, the qualifying isn't over, but Connor Brannon, if you were watching on Keyboard Motorsports Network last night, he won the Darlington race in the Truck Series, and he had put a dominating performance. He won at Indy a couple weeks ago in this series, the last race in this series. He's doing very good, and his consistency, I think, is paying off for him, especially now.
Yeah, Derek Smith we're watching him go around. He's just logging laps, having fun with his pole. I guess he's pretty happy with that lap, as I would be as well if you set the pole. But this is such a nerve-wracking race for these chase drivers, as if something can go wrong, which we saw it happened yesterday. We saw, tragedy strike for Derek Smith and Nick Miller as they were eliminated from the Truck Series chase. And yeah, it was a very, very, very strange race for how it played out. Quite weird. Yeah. So, overall, what do you expect, or how much aggression do you see, or do you think you'll see out of these drivers?
Especially with a couple of these drivers, I think the aggression level will not be as high, especially early in the race. I think throughout late in the race, where we start seeing green flag we start seeing some strategies. You start seeing some pit stops. You might see some different strategies by these guys, especially maybe some guys who need some more points to get into that final transfer spot. I think the aggression level isn't going to be too high for a lot of these guys, especially people like Derek and Ryan, who are high up in the points, and they really don't have. They've been very consistent.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Casey Drake make his laps around the track. Casey is your Chicagoland winner from a few weeks ago. Great to see him finally bring that number 87 Camry into victory lane. Casey is kind of a dark horse. He hasn't won many races in his iSCAR career. However, he's shown up when he has to. I mean, he missed the chase. I believe he did not start the entire season, so hopefully if he can run an entire season next year, we will see him make a run for the title. But qualifying is complete, so that'll do it for that. And we are going to have a look at your starting grid here for tonight's event. So we are going to have a look, and bam. So Ryan Kendrick will be second. Derek Smith will be on the pole. Connor Brannon will be third. Malachi Drake fourth. Nick Miller sixth. Kealoha Hankins fifth. So those are your very. This is going to be the battle to watch. Ryan Kwan seventh, so he didn't qualify too far back. That is your chase grid as they qualified. But we're gonna have a look. We're going to have a look further down. Josh Patterson, Christopher Will, Jackson Hartman, Casey Drake, Charlie Byer, Michael Kenner, Cade McKee, Brandon Warwas, Marshall Ryder, Colton Lights, Keaton Jones, William Schmidt, Michael Bianchini, Dane Cruz, Grayson Trexler, Corbin Collins, Mitch Hobbs, Shane DeMantova, Matthew Klein, Brayson Collins, Caden Denny making his first start tonight. Caden Atkins. Michael DiMaggio will round out your field in 25th place. So that'll do it for that. And we will have a look at your cars as they're going to roll off pit road. So as far as pit stops go, what do you expect to see? Do you expect to see some aggressive strategies as far as that goes, especially for these chase drivers?
I think with people like Derek and Ryan, I think they'll probably keep it safe, take a couple stops, especially if we have a long green flag run at this track. It's pretty hard to get down on pit road. So I think a lot of the strategy is going to vary. I think we're going to see some interesting strategies with some of the drivers who are, especially, they have nothing to lose and they can get a win here tonight. I think they're going to take some risks and they're going to see if they can get this right. But strategy is very, very important in this track. It's going to be really interesting.
And in iSCAR, cautions aren't really, that rare to see in this series. So there's always those races where you never get a caution. So outside of the championship, well, you stated Aaron Mulrooney being one of the favorites to win here tonight.
Yes.
Outside of Aaron, who do you think will have a really good shot at taking home a spoiler win, or perhaps get their first win? Joe Berge, he didn't qualify, but I don't think is he in the session? There he is. Wait, is he? Okay, you know what? There he is. But he didn't qualify, but we're about to get the green here, as it's a one-lap pace lap. It is not a short track, so we're going to see the lights go out on the pace car, and Derek Smith is going to lead him to green as the green flag is in the air. Derek Smith is about to lead him to green, and here they go. Derek Smith spin the tires, and Ryan Kendrick will take advantage of that on the outside as he's going to dive into turn one, and Derek Smith will pull away with the lead. Connor Brandon's not taking too much time to pounce on that opportunity, and he's going to dive low as he's going to go all the way down there, as I believe we have a caution on the track. Oh, there was a little bit of a puff up of smoke, but anyways, a little bit of battle going on back here. Josh Patterson and Charlie Byer, they're going to search. Oh my God, Josh Patterson just spun out there. Does it look like we're going to have a caution for that? If we did, I'm not sure if we did get a caution. But back out front, it's Derek Smith. He is leading the field, leading the charge right now, as I believe we are not under caution. Michael Bianchini is about to be put a lap down as Connor Brandon gets around him on the outside.
Connor Brandon got around the 65 of Kendrick. Seems he lost the position on the first lap. I mean, not too big of a job, although then now the caution comes out.
All right, caution is out for the first time tonight, as I'm not sure who has been involved in an accident. It has been, looks like a incident between, okay, what happened? Don't see anything of a car crashing. Let's have a look at some cars, see if we can catch a damaged vehicle. Don't see anything. If you saw the caution, I haven't seen anything. Yeah, I don't know what brought out the caution there. I don't have a event viewer.
Looks like I think Caden Denny might have had a bit of trouble.
Caden Denny. Let's have a look here. Caden Denny. Oh, yes, that car is crunched up. We're going to take a replay at that. Let's see what happened to Caden. Okay, don't have it on my replay. He was too far back. All right, well, Matthew Klein has crashed. I think it was for Klein. Don't see the incident, though. Where is he? Oh, that is very strange. Klein seemed to have backed it into the wall, and under caution, he slid his tires and got into somebody. But back up front, pit stops are underway as cars have made their way onto pit road. Derek Smith is still leading the charge here. From that opening laps, or those opening laps, who do you think is going to be the challenger? Because it looks like Aaron Mulrooney hasn't been able to make his way forward. Do you see any surprises in the top 10 at the moment?
I mean, I don't think we've had so much to see. It's only been about 3 laps before the caution came out, so there's not much shuffling in the field. Saw Charlie Byer lose a couple spots on the racetrack. Jackson Hartman has moved his way into 7th. The 52 and the 7 were having a good battle earlier, but I think it's still up in the air right now. It's very early in the race.
Yeah, as I think we have just gotten the 1 to green command, as yes, the lights are out on the pace car. We're going to wait for the cars to go around the track once more, and I'm not sure how many people pitted, but quite a few people in the back have made their stops. So, yeah, lights are out on the pace car. We're going to get the green flag here momentarily. Yeah,
Gonna be interesting to see how Connor Brannon takes this restart. He had a really good restart, and he obviously advanced the position from Ryan Kendrick. So I think he might have a good run if he can get it. If he can catch the launch that Derek M. Smith will have, as the pace car will roll off very soon.
All right, pace car is about to dive onto pit road as Derek Smith is about to lead him back green. The pace car is down pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Derek Smith will lead him to green again. Connor Brannon following suit in second. Ryan Kendrick third, as a big scuffle in the background between the 52 and the, I believe that's the 95. They had a little bit of a scuffle as cars are getting way wide off the corner. I think Malachi Drake smacked the wall there. No problem so far as Derek Smith is starting to check out, but a little bit of a 2x2 action going on there as Derek Smith will lead this lap again.
Malachi Drake getting a little bit of a challenge from the 41 of Christopher Wheel on the inside. Looks like he's gonna lose the spot. Aaron Mulrooney will try and follow suit down the dog leg.
Yeah, Aaron Mulrooney, he's been very aggressive. I don't think he's too happy with how he was eliminated. I believe it was 2 weeks ago at Michigan. He was eliminated, or Chicagoland. He was eliminated from a big one on the backstretch. Derek Smith still leading. Wow, a little bit of a very risky move there from Aaron as he barely cleared the 52 there. Cars are being really a little bit of a battle in the back between William Schmidt and Joe Berge. Well, not in the back, around 15th place. They're starting to have a little bit of a scuffle here. Schmidt is driving on the inside. Berge is having a good bit of connection issues, so I believe this battle won't be too much as Derek Smith is still leading the race. Charlie Byer and the 95 are having a big battle right here. These two are going at it. Looks like the 7's going to get the position as the 27's trying to get to the inside of the 7, so he's trying to take a defensive line there.
You saw a shuffle of drivers now. Cade McKean, the 87, trying to take advantage of these guys side by side, the 95 and the 7. See Cade McKee all over the back bumper of the 7. He might make a move going into one, and he does. Probably gives side, but here comes Cade McKee down on the inside off of 2.
All right, as you can see, the 77 of Keaton Jones kind of lagging back there. I bet he's just, letting people do their thing, not pushing the issue at the moment. Pretty smart for him. I mean, he doesn't really have much to gain, but not much to lose, so he's just letting people, do the work for him as the caution is out once again. Not sure what is out for this time. Gonna have a look back. Marshall Ryder, no, nothing for them. Yeah, not sure what brought out the caution here. Session events, let's have a look. Grayson Trexler, maybe a scuffle for him. No. I'm not sure what brought out the caution here. Again. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Did you see anything that could have happened? I don't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't see any smoke or anything. Oh, that was this 167 of Caden Denny. Looks like he went around on the front straightaway.
Caden Denny. Yeah, he is out of the race now, but we're going to take a replay to see if we can catch what happened with Caden. Yes. And I do not have it. But he goes for a spin on the front stretch, but, we're under caution once again. Hate to see that here. But Derek Smith is your leader. Connor Brannon, I believe, stole the lead away. I'm not sure what's going on with my scoring, but whatever. Connor Brannon actually is your leader. Derek Smith is somewhere. I'm not sure where he went. Ryan Kendrick's right there.
He's on pit road.
Oh, yeah, Derek Smith went down pit road. There he is.
Malachi Drake, also one of the drivers on pit road.
Yeah, those two are teammates, so maybe they're working together to see what they have to do here to get both cars in the championship for. Yeah.
Nick Miller and Ryan Kwan also down on pit road. Those are the guys fighting to get that last transfer spot into the Final Four. I think they might want some fresh tires after their run.
Yeah, we're going to have a look at your points here. We have the chase standings, a calculator for that. Give me a second to find a driver, and we're going to have a look at your chase standings. If I can find the thing. Alright. So here's your chase drivers at the moment. Connor Brandon, Ryan Kendrick, Derek Smith, and Malachi Drake are in at the moment. Ryan Kwan, Nick Miller, and Kealoha Hankins are out. So these are the guys to watch here. It's going to be very interesting to see how they handle this race, or how they handle their strategy going forward. But so far, these top four are in, bottom three are out. Any comment on what Nick Miller should or have to do to get himself in contention here for this title?
I mean, so far we haven't seen much of Nick Miller. I think he went down pit road to get that fresh set of tires and get back up through the pack. He hasn't made too many moves on the racetrack. You see him getting out of pit road right now. I think he might have had some extra service there apart from the tires and the fuel, but I think if you're Nick Miller, you have to get those strategies on point. You got to make some bold moves. You got to get into the front of the field because he's got to make up some points.
All right, we're going to have a look up at here at Kealoha Hankins. As you can see, he is one of the lower guys out. Has a little bit of a scuffle, has a little bit of contact with Joe Berge there. I don't know what's going on with him. He just spun out under caution. Berge just went around, and he is... I have no idea what's going on. He just flat out freaked out there. I don't know. His connection's causing him some problems. You just gotta wonder if the move by, Derek to pit there, like there's a big risk in doing that, as he is one of the last guys that can, afford to do that. Because if he gets wrecked, he is out of the chase. He does not have that 10-point cushion on Nick Miller, and that is just a I don't know. It's kind of a very weird circumstance for him to pit there. I just don't understand him and his doing of that. But green flag is back in the air. My ticker is kind of bugging out, but we are under green. The green flag is in the air. These guys are singled themselves out. The 92 is going to break away. The 41 is going to dive to the inside, try to cut the track to make it shorter for him to get to the front of the back of the 92. But Connor Brandon's going to start to check out here. He's really good here. Ryan Kendrick is also very good, but he has not shown that same performance here tonight. As
Michael Kenner with a good move now in fourth. He's going to try and put some pressure on the 65 of Kendrick. He's been running pretty well this entire race. Apart from the cautions, he's just been in that top 10, top 5, and now he's trying to make a bold move here on Ryan Kendrick off of 4.
Yeah, as you can see, the cars are rocking off 4. There's a big scuffle back here with William Schmidt. These guys are going at it for position, as the 95 is going to dive to the inside of the 35 there for position, as we have a caution on the racetrack. Not sure who went around here. Trying to find him. Yeah. Strange. As I believe the caution...
Not sure who that might have been.
Brayson Collins went for an accident here, as I cannot find him. He was too far back. Whatever. This is a recurring thing. I don't know what's going on with my stream, but whatever. But we're going to go back live. Derek Smith is starting to make his way up back through the field. He is in 9th at the moment. That 66 car is coming back. He's not, not at a great pace, but for one lap. Oh, I think we got a replay here. Hit play on that. And I believe my scoring has just crashed. Okay. Strange. Okay, gotta restart my score thing, as there's an iSCAR logo plastered on the side. I don't know why.
Grayson Trexler was one of the drivers to enter pit road. A lot of the drivers of the field kind of faked out Didn't think it looked like it really fooled too many people, but so far, Grayson Trexler is the only person on pit road. Oh, no, there is the 72. Kilo Hankins, one of the drivers we mentioned, that's trying to make his way into that final transfer spot. A couple other drivers on pit road, the 71, 47. But apart from that, most of the field stays out.
Yeah, the field seems pretty tame as we're going to have a look at your manufacturers. Connor Brandon's the lone Chevy in the top 5 as it's 9th to 10th is for the other Chevys. But Connor Brandon's still pacing the field here tonight. He's been showing his strength here tonight, and I think he'll just pretty much be a lock for the championship. If you have a look at your points right now for that, we will see that that is your points there. Connor Brandon, Ryan Kendrick, Derek Smith, Malachi Drake are in. Quan Miller, Hankins are out. So, those are going to be the folks to watch out for. Brandon is in, and Smith is not too far back. However, he is not sure. But I believe we are going to get the 1 to green next time by, as I think the few cars went on pit road, but people at the back, so not really much to talk about for that. So far in this race, have you seen the do you think the this package now has been able to promote more passing? Because in my opinion, it seems to be like the middle of the pack has seemed to been able to get the passes done, and the others are not being or have not been able to do that.
Yeah, we've seen a bunch of shuffling through the middle of the field. We saw, especially drivers in the latter half of the top 10. Charlie Byer, Cade McKee had some battles back, especially on the dog leg. William Schmidt worked his way into 8th place. I think this package, especially now that it's a lower downforce, you see the shorter splitter as opposed to the large splitter we have in a lot of the other tracks, the bigger tracks. I think this has allowed for a lot, especially with the high downforce. It was kind of hard to make a lot of the passes and kind of get the air out of some of the other drivers. But I think with this low downforce, it's enabled some of these guys to take different lines, try out different parts of the racetrack, and make it work.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers in this field have been able to make a lot of passes, as Michael Kenner has been a very good story sitting here in 4th place. He's been showing some speed, however, he just seems to have gotten himself into quite a few issues on the track. However, he's sitting there in 4th, holding tight. But Charlie Byer has also made his way up into 6th, but the pace car is about to pull on the pit road as we're about to get the green here. As Connor Brandon is about to pace him back to the green. As green flag is back in the air, Connor Brandon's going to lead him. Christopher Weil doesn't really get a good start there. He closes the gap back up into 2 car lengths. He gets all over the back bumper of the 92. However, he's going to get the run off the corner, and the 92 is going to start to check away. It's a little bit of
Charlie Byer's around on the back
Charlie
straightaway.
Byer spins around. We get a caution out for that. Charlie Byer spins. We're going to have a replay of that. There he is. Oh, Matthew Klein hits the wall under caution. I'm not sure what's going on with Klein here tonight. We get a replay of that. Klein is just confused me with his antics here tonight. Where's Charlie Byer? I can't get my cameras to go correctly. Alright. Is this the caution? Okay, whatever. We're gonna go live. Replay. Get me Charlie Byer. Where is he? Where is that lad? Charlie. Alright. Why am I not able to pick up Charlie Byer? My scoring is super odd. It's not letting me select him for God knows why.
Well, it looks like when they were getting into turn 1 and 2, he was side by side with Maroney. I think he might have peeked down just a little bit. He was already a bit sideways. Looked like he was going to save it. And then William Schmidt looks like he had nowhere to go. Got into the back of him, and then he went around. Looks like a couple drivers were in front of him. A couple drivers near the midfield were also involved. The 95, Grayson Trexler was also involved in that as well. The 02, a huge wreck on the back straightaway. Actually, the 87, looks like they saved it. Wasn't too many drivers spinning, but It's a big baffle there on the back straightaway.
All right. Okay, so we're going to get a replay of this restart here. So as they go into one, Charlie Beyer gets spun around. William Schmidt just gets
Colton Lights has made himself into the top 10. See a Marshall Ryder also in 9th. Malachi Drake, who is one of the drivers in so far. He's currently in top 10 in 10th place right now. I think a couple of the other drivers, Nick Miller, as far back in 25th place, has not had the best run today. Still early in the race, though. He can still make that back up. You see him around the racetrack. And a couple of these drivers still trying to make up some points.
Yeah, Charlie Beyer, we had to look at that incident. He just got a tap from, he just got loose going into one and just kind of wheel hopped, and then William Schmidt just sent him around. Wouldn't really put that on the 79, but we'll just leave that up for the admins to decide, as Connor Brandon is still pacing the field. We are under caution on lap 27 of 158 or 150. Yeah, it's 158 or 156. I'm not sure. The font's a little small on that, but Connor Brandon is your leader. Christopher Weil second. Michael Kenner has made his way up into third, so if he can get the restart correctly, or go when he can, he will be behind Connor Brandon, and that'll be a good run for him. He can make a challenge for the lead. I don't think he has winning speed, but I think he can totally be a contender here. Nick Miller is made his way inside the top 20.
I'd like to talk about Connor Brandon before we go green here on the pace car is on the back straightaway here. But Connor Brandon, I think with the way he's been performing, I think especially next season, he'll probably have a lot of the advantage and a lot of the momentum on it, especially if he can take a win here and if he can go next week at Homestead and get it done if he's going to attend the race. But Connor Brandon has been showing some true speed for the past couple of weeks. Pace car will come off. Turn 4. This will be the green.
All right, Connor Brandon's going to lead him to green as the green flag is in the air. Christopher Weil second, Michael Kenner third, and Ryan Kendrick is surprisingly in fourth. He hasn't had a very strong run as I assumed he was going to have, but Connor Brandon's just going to check out. Michael Kenner is going to make a dive to the inside on Christopher Weil. He's going to go for second here as they go into 3 and 4. Michael Kenner is not going. I don't think he's going to get the spot here. He's going to get that run off the corner. His car, I didn't think it was going to bite there, but oh, he got a little loose off the corner. He's making a challenge for second. He's still hanging tough with that number 41. The 52 is going to dive to the inside. The 41's trying to drive it high, and the 41's going to get that bite off the corner, and he's going to drive away.
We mentioned Derek Smith. You said it was a risky move, but right now he's made himself into the 4th position. He got around Aaron Mulrooney out of turn number 2. He made the high line work. You see now the 2 gets a little bit of pressure from Keaton Jones. Might make a move, but he doesn't. Derek Smith will try to make a run onto Ryan Kendrick now.
All right, we're going to ride on board with that number 66 machine, as Derek's fans are in the chat saying Smith champ, but we're riding on board with this number 66. Michael Kenner's just ahead in 4th. Smith is actually driving up to 4th. Not sure what happened to Aaron, but Aaron's right behind in 5th place. But Connor Brandon is starting to check out from the field as it's all him up ahead at the front of the pack.
Yeah, Ryan Kendrick had a little bit of a mistake going into that last time by. It looks like he was trying to dive into the corner to make a move on Kenner in the 52, but it looks like he kind of went wide. That allowed Smith and Mulrooney to get by. He's fallen to 6th.
Keaton Jones has made his way into 7th place. Very good run for him tonight. I don't think he qualified too good for, I guess his standards, but he's made himself comfortably inside the top 10. Top 10, as he's in 7th at the moment. Malachi Drake, a guy that has to have a good run here tonight, as I believe he has the smallest cushion of anybody. I believe he is the last guy in at the moment, as we're going to have a look at your standings for the chase. I believe he is the last guy in the championship. As we're going to have a look here. And it is, yes, he is the last guy in at the moment, so that will be your standings there, as Connor Brandon is starting to check out little by little every lap. Christopher Weil in second. He is one of the quicker guys here. In that practice session earlier that we, I don't know if you watched it, but he was one of the quicker guys in it, as Derek Smith has made his way up into third, so look for Smith to start to make a challenge or make a attack on Connor Brandon, as he is the quickest car on the track by a few tenths.
Now, if you look into this back half of this top 15, there are 3 drivers that are the chase right now that are trying to get their way into that last transfer spot. You see Nick Miller now under pressure from the 28 of Ryan Kwan. See between in that Ford Motorcraft machine. Keeloy Hankins isn't too far ahead of the 27. He might make a move on the PPM car right in front of him. But these guys, this is going to be...
Well, Nick
all get close to each other and start fighting for position.
Nick Miller has, like, where Malachi Drake is. Malachi Drake has to finish 18th with him. Everybody else has to finish behind him for Nick Miller to get in. This, I just don't think it'll be enough for Nick to get in. However, Keeloy Hankins is just up the road.
And the caution's on the track again. I believe this is the 4th. Not sure who would have been involved there, but see all the drivers slowing down now.
Have a look here. Charlie Byer did not crash. We're going to have a look at what could have happened. No, nothing for him. My event thing is backwards. Casey Drake has crashed.
Oh yeah, that was off of turn 1. He had some big damage on the front end of that car. 87 M&M's machine. Looks like, from what I can see, he's spinning down on the apron off of 2, off the pit lane exit. And I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you might have hit the wall there, but huge damage to the 87. That's going to hurt his night for sure.
Well, it's not a really great way to cap off the season. I don't think he'll be in contention for a win here tonight. Casey Drake is pretty solid at the 2-miler checks, so we'll have to wait for Homestead to see if he can challenge for another win as Nick Miller stays out.
Interesting move by Nick Miller there. I think that might be the smartest move for him at the moment. He needs that track position. He needs those points right now. So,
well, yeah, if we have a look at your standings right now, that will put him in. That'll put him in along with Derek Smith, Ryan Kendrick, and Connor Brandon. That puts Drake, Hankins, and Kwan out. So that's a very risky move for him to do this. I don't think this will... It'll be very interesting to see if this pays out for him, but he'll probably be doing this for the lap lead point. So this will close in the gap from 10 points to 9 points, as Malachi Drake has not led any laps. So
yeah,
this is a very interesting call here. I guess what he has to hope for is someone to cause an accident here. I think Nick Miller is going to pull off onto pit road. Yeah, he is pulled onto pit road, but that would have been an interesting call there. Maybe at the end of the race he can afford to pull a strategy like that. I don't know if this series does halfway points. I haven't looked into that. I don't think they do. But you can rack up a lot of bonus points. So maybe Nick Miller's just trying to do that. I don't think he'll get the most laps led point. But yeah, very interesting. But Derek Smith this caution really benefits Derek Smith, as he is now 3rd place, just behind Connor Brandon. So I think this will be advantage to the 66, as he is one of the quicker guys on the track.
Also interesting, Keaton Jones in the 77 gained a couple spots. He passed the 2 of Mulrooney and the 52 of Kenner. A couple of guys in front of him, Ryan Kendrick as well. But he made a really good move on the pit stop here. He's going to be starting 4th. We're going to go green next time by.
Yeah, that's
right. Lights are still on.
Yeah, lights are still on the pace car, as we have not crossed the line yet. But it's a very, very great pit stop for Keaton Jones this season, 4th place. I don't know if he has contending speed. He joined a new team a couple weeks ago, Proximity Racing, as you can tell from that Camry. But unfortunately, he is not in the chase of, I think, any series now. I'm not sure about Xfinity, but he is going to be one of the guys that can contend here. Aaron Mulrooney, he's I'm kind of surprised by his performance lately. He just kind of fell off, for lack of a better term. He just hasn't had the same speed as we've seen prior to the wreck at Chicagoland. I doubt that was anything with him, but I think it just kind of maybe been I guess, what's the word? Confidence. Might have hurt his confidence a little bit. Maybe just why even try for the rest of the season. But he still had some top 5 speed. I believe he can sort of make a run for it here, but so far not having a great showing. The trend is starting to continue with that, as Connor Brandon's going to lead him to green here as green flag's back in the air. Derek Smith, I think he hung on the inside. He's going to make a dive into the corner on Christopher Weil. Weil's going to shut the door, and Derek Smith is going to hold it steady there. Malachi Drake is making a battle for the outside. He's going to run all the way high. I'm not sure what that's about, but that's going to allow Kiloa Hankins to get to the inside, and Malachi Drake is going to have to give up that spot as they're side by side here. This could be the battle for the transfer spot. These two have to race really hard as the 27 gets super loose off the corner. He's showing that he doesn't really care about this battle here as Ryan Kwan is just behind him. He has damage to his car at the back of that car.
Yeah, this is a 3-way battle from 7th to 9th. Ryan Kendrick, the 90 of Malachi Drake, and Kilo Hankins, excuse me. But these drivers, this is probably one of the more interesting things. I mentioned this earlier. Nick Miller isn't too far back,
but he's
but
17.
these drivers, all 3 are fighting for the championship right now, especially to get into that last transfer spot. This is interesting. This is single file, but I think we're going to see some moves maybe soon from these guys.
Yeah, if something goes wrong here, this could be huge for Nick Miller, but I don't think anything's going to go on that's wrong, as Kilo Hankins is starting to fall off a little bit, but he's starting to check away from the 27, so he's starting to fall into that 9th place position. But this run is really great for Kiloa because I think so far he is 5th in points right now, so he will be the last guy out, or the first guy out. So Kiloa has to get by that 90 and start making up some ground because I believe he's just a few points behind Malachi Drake.
Yeah, here's the battle behind them. Behind Ryan, Marshall Ryder, Charlie Byer. Nick Miller's in the middle of this battle between a couple of these drivers. Charlie Byer looks like has some damage on the front end of that car. See the 35 of Colton Knights as well. Josh Patterson. Looks like they settled their disputes for now. There's a battle up near the front of the pack. There was, at least with Shane DiMantova in the 27. Looks like they've settled single file for now.
The 52s diving to the inside or looking inside on the 77 of Keaton Jones. As you can see, the top 3 have kind of established themselves as the battle for the win there. As you can see, those 2 have checked away. Derek Smith is lurking behind the 41, but it seems like the battle for 4th place is going to be between Keaton Jones and Michael Kenner. Kenner's going to go way to the inside, but Keaton's going to get that run off the corner. He's going to clear him going into 3.
I mean, you think with this dog leg, it really gives you an opportunity to make a big dive going into turn 3, and we've seen that from a couple of these drivers. Keaton Jones, as you see, Keaton Jones gets a little loose off the corner, saved it there. But what I was mentioning, the dog leg is. Yep, Derek Smith is in second, but this dog leg is just a really good opportunity for a lot of these drivers. See the 52 now going there. I think it's a really good opportunity to pass, especially in the inside. We might see some big moves with that.
Yeah, we've seen turn 3 being able to be an aggressive spot for position, as we saw a few weeks ago with the JTP. No, that's not the Peter Kenny Design Series. You saw earlier with you're able to be aggressive if you can just get the run off 2. You can run high and then sort of send it into 3. That wouldn't be really liked by your competitor, but if push comes to shove there, I mean that's gonna have to be the battle or the move that has to happen. But Connor Brandon, it's all him up front as he's starting to check away.
Charlie Byers around on the racetrack in turn 3. Caution is out once again.
Yeah, Charlie Byers spins. We're going to have a look here. Yeah, it's going into 3. Looks like Nick Miller has gotten into him. Nick Miller just comes up the track and he just knocks into him. Byers just going to spin around. Doesn't look like he got into anybody else. He just loops it around there. Does a great job. I believe he kept it off the wall. He blanked out for a little bit. Yeah, he kept it off the wall. We'll hope. But we're going to go back up front. Connor Brandon, it's all him up front. It's been all him up front all day. It's just been a dominating performance so far as we are 51 laps into this 150. I still don't know the length of the race, but
156 laps.
156. I was saying 58. It just the 6 looks like an 8. It kind of looks the same with the font, but 51 laps into the 156 lap schedule. We have 3 green light checkers, so if we have to extend the race, we can go for 6 extra green flag laps. But Connor Brandon's going to dive on the pit road. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to fake the 66 on the pit road. Derek Smith. And that's a very, very great call as everybody behind him pits. Yep. And he leaves the 92 out to dry. That puts Marshall Ryder into second on the track. And that's 75 with Brandon Warwas in third, William Schmidt fourth, Dane Cruz fifth.
Interesting call by Connor Brandon to stay out. I'm pretty sure he was gonna go in. We saw all the drivers. Wasn't expecting everybody to come in behind him, but interesting call from Brandon here. Yeah, but I think these fresh tires are gonna come out.
Even more so for Marshall Ryder, as he's gonna stay out with him. But Connor can't pit now because that puts him at a deficit behind Nick, and that could potentially put him out of the battle forward, as even though Nick is 10 points out, someone else can sneak their way in. So if Connor pits now, he'll be out. He has a 2-point advantage over second place, and then another 1 to 2 points for the other 2 drivers. But then from that on, I think it's 1 point back to Kilo Hankins, and 10 points back to Nick Miller. But this is a very interesting strategy, and this will be a crucial restart. Hopefully it doesn't turn out like Carl Edwards' restart from 2016. But
don't think so. I don't think so. It will be early in the race, but
maybe
never
later
know.
In the race. You never know. It's iSCAR. A lot of crap happens. Ryan Kendrick, he's running the apron. Maybe he's saving a little bit of fuel. No, he's not. He's just running the apron for fun. But Derek Smith.
I think the crucial restart will be the 4-way racing cars, and these guys with Malachi Drake in front of them. These 3 cars, obviously all fighting for the points battle. They'll restart within each other within the top 10. Kilo Hankins obviously finishing that top 10, but pretty interesting restart with these guys bunched up.
So you gotta think Derek Smith is in the Ryan Kendrick is in the catbird seat now to take the lead away, as Connor Brandon has significantly older tires. That was a good, bit of green flag laps there. So you just gotta think Ryan Kendrick's in the catbird seat to take the lead away.
Yeah, he is, and especially with some of the guys. You see Marshall Ryder, who stayed out as well. He was near in the middle of the field. Interesting call by him. I'm pretty sure it was just to get the track position. He's trying to get his first win in his car here tonight at Phoenix. Interesting call, but so far, I think Derek Smith and Ryan Kendrick are going to have big runs. Christopher Wheel also kind of fell back, but he's had a strong run. I'm curious to see how these guys handle this restart.
As they are doubling up through the pack, so we are about to get the green flag here, as we have not much. We're about a third of the way into the race. We're just over a third. A lot of action left. Just the beginning. Not much has happened, but we have a lot of time for more things to happen. As Marshall Ryder, he's not really a guy we see running up front here, so you never know what could happen here. As we're going to see green flags back in the air, the 75 kind of spins the tires, and that's not going to be very happy for Derek Smith as they go 3 wide for second place. They're going to dive into turn 1. Derek Smith is going to pinch that 65. The 77 is going to follow suit. He's going to door the 75 up the track. No problem there. Everyone fanning out 3 wide as they are going to be 2 wide for the lead, as they're also 2 by 2 for second, as the 52 is going to dive to the inside of the 77. Maybe something could happen as we go back for the transfer spot in the chase. The 90 is going to be under attack by the 28 and the 72. These two are going to be battling 2 by 2 right here, as the 28 is going to dive into the in turn 1. Just barely almost get to the 90.
Christopher Wheels goes around.
The 28 hits him, the 72 as well. That is,
he saved it.
Major chase implications, as these two, I believe the 72 or the 28 has gotten into him. Where is Ryan Kwan? He's 8th. Okay. They get away with no damage, so that is great news. But however, that breaks him up from the number 72 or the number 90. So the 90 has a little bit of time to breathe here, as he's gonna chase down that 52 and 77. As this battle for 4th is still going on, or 5th, no, 4th place is going on, as the X-Prox driver and the Prox driver are battling side by side here. Keaton Jones is running on the outside, trying to get that run off the corner on the 2, but the 2 is just so good on the bottom. The 77 wants the bottom, as the, the inside of the racetrack isn't that good here. Well, the outside isn't. As the 27 is going to exit pit road, they go 4 wide for just a moment. The 52 is going to back out of it wisely, and the 77 is going to make his way into 4th, but the 2 is going to dive his way to the inside. They are still side by side here. I'm pretty sure Keaton is like, come on, dude, just let me have the spot. We're on lap 58. But as you can see, these two are still battling here. The 2 is going to go to the inside. The 77 is going to try to get the run off the corner. The 52 is going to dive up to the 2, and the 2 is going to try to clear the 77, but here comes the 52 to the inside of the 2. He's going to try to get that spot away, but the 77 is going to, lose the spot as well. So Michael Kenner works his way into 5th place, as there was a little bit of a scuffle going back here. The 020 is being, contact between the 020 and the 27. Shane is not really happy with that because he's a lap car. Not sure the motive with that. But as the battle for the lead is heating up, Connor Brandon's under attack from Derek Smith. These two are chase drivers. They are the last guys in, so do you think they're going to, lay off here? As the 66 is going to go to the inside, 92 is going to hold strong in the outside, but Derek Smith has those fresh tires to his advantage. He's going to get the bite off the corner. The 66 is going to make a run at the line. They're side by side. It was very almost dead even there. But the 66, the 92 goes up the track, and that gives the lead to Derek Smith, but Ryan Kendrick is not too far behind. He's going to make a challenge down back to the inside. The 92 is not going to be able to get to his door, and that leaves 66 of Derek Smith to drive away with the lead. Ryan Kendrick's not too far back. He's ready to pounce on that 92 once he gets to him, but maybe an untimely caution can save Connor Brandon here for this win. As we look further back through the pack, the 72 and the 90, Malachi Drake has kind of backed off a little bit, maybe saving a little bit just in case the 72 or the 28 make a charge, but the 28 is not far behind him, as there is, you can see him in the same shot almost. Yep, there he is. But a little bit of breathing room for Malachi Drake here, as everyone seems to single themselves out. So we're going to look back further through the pack. William Schmidt and Nick Miller. Nick Miller is just, you could see that championship just slowly falling away from him. His chances at getting a title are just slowly fading away. And that is just heartbreaker for Nick Miller this season, as he's been a force to be reckoned with.
And what I've noticed in this before the incident with Christopher Wheel, these guys are kind of bunched up, but it seems after this incident, they kind of split the top 3. As so far up front, it looks like the fresh tire call is working for Derek Smith. He's pulled away to about at least a second in front of Connor Brandon. It looks like Ryan Kendrick is going to follow suit behind him. A couple of the drivers, the top 3 is kind of pulling away from the rest of the field here.
Yeah, a little bit of a scuffle going back here. The 52 is going to dive to the inside of the 77. Keaton Jones is going to fire off on the outside. Keaton is not really good on the long, or the short runs, I'd say. As you can see, the 52 is going to give him a little bit of room, not going to push the issue, but that pulls in the 90 of Malachi Drake with them letting off. 52 wants to get around that 77, but I just don't think he's going to be able to get away here. But the 90 is not too far back. He just needs every little point he can get. Every spot is a point. Ryan Kwan is only in 9th place, so this puts him in a very good spot here. I'm not sure. Right now, it's a 66, 92, and 65, along with the 90 that are in for the championship race. But yeah, the 28, 72, and 9 are, unfortunately, it looks like to be the guys out unless they stay out. But that'd be a very risky call, and that could end a lot of people's days. But as you can see, it's all Derek Smith up front, as we are going to go side by side. We're going to go to break, and we will catch back with you after the commercial.
Oh, that was Shane in the 020.
Caution is out on the racetrack. We are back as there was an incident on the racetrack with Shane DeMantova. He goes around. We're going to have a look back here to see what has occurred. I'm not sure what's going on here. Shane.
It looks like Cade McKee got into the wall there off of 4, and he kind of came down, got into the 0-2. The 0-2 didn't have much, but the 0-20, unfortunate circumstances for him, he was spun out. And also a close call for Ryan Kwan. He kind of got away with that one, but super close call. He got very, very loose, almost spun the car, but he was able to save it. Huge break. That was very scary.
Yeah, that had to be a butt clinching moment there for him. But Ryan Kwan, I believe he has stayed out on the racetrack. Unless that's just my scoring. No, he has. He stayed out on the racetrack, so he's going to try to get that lap lead point. Perhaps maybe try something on the restart here. Wasn't as long of a run as we had before, but I think Connor Brandon has learned his lesson as he lost second under those pit stops. However, nope, he gets back up to second, so he got it back. But yeah, Ryan Kwan's gonna stay out. I don't know if he's gonna peel off on the pit road here. Might be disliked by his competitors for doing that, but I doubt he cares.
Oh, now Ryan Kwan going on pit road. I think he had, not sure if he caught some of the damage today. He seemed to kind of get away unscathed.
I see a little bit of a kink on the
fresh
right.
tires, or maybe just to get it checked.
I see a little bit of a kink on that right front fender there, so maybe he got a little bit of damage, if it wasn't a lot, but he may have gotten something there. Overall, not what you need to have happen here. Yeah, Kwan dives on the pit road. See, blinks a little bit, and he's back. So anyways, it's all Derek Smith up front. I'm sure his friends in the chat are really happy with that. Connor Brandon second, Ryan Kendrick third, Keaton Jones fourth, Aaron Mulrooney fifth, Michael Kenner sixth, and Josh Patterson seventh. So
yeah, Derek Smith has a huge fan base.
Yeah. Borderline obsessive. But we're gonna have a look here. Derek Smith is your leader. He has, if it wasn't Connor, it was always him being in battle for wins here. Connor Brandon, he hasn't had that winning speed as we're used to seeing from him, but Derek Smith has certainly been the guy to beat here, and I don't think that'll change going into next week at Homestead for the battle for the championship. I just think may have to write off Nick Miller here, as he is up in the 9th. Not a great run for him. Yeah, just unfortunate that these past 2 weeks have led to this. I doubt he's really happy with this performance here tonight. I don't know. I don't understand why he didn't practice a little more. I don't know. But that leaves Derek Smith up front as your leader. Guy worth talking. He hasn't really gone anywhere, but he's kind of stayed in the same place as Aaron Mulrooney. A little bit of damage to Josh Patterson back there. He's made his way up into 7th place, but the lights are about to go off on the pace cars. We're about to get the green here.
Here we go.
As the lights are out on the pace car, green flag is back in the air.
Good jump by Derek Smith. Connor Brandon not too far behind. Couple of drivers. There's the proximity car. Keaton Jones on the outside now, trying to look a move on the 65. Looks like he's going to get around him. They go into the dogleg, heading into turn 3.
Michael Kenner's not too far behind in 5th place. He's not that far behind, as the 2's going to dive to the inside. Maybe take a look on that 52 as the caution's out on the racetrack. I'm not sure what happened, as it looks like a little bit of a scuffle towards the back of the pack. No, I don't see an incident. That's strange. Huh. No, I don't see an incident. That is strange. No, I don't see anything. Weird. Okay. Just the cautions on the racetrack. Didn't take long. Not gonna have a look back at it. I doubt much happened. Ryan Kwan is pretty far back in the pack. We're gonna get an update on him. Hopefully he didn't get involved in that accident. Where is he? Ryan. Well, there's Kaloa Hankins. He looks like to have a little bit of a kink on the back end there. Yeah, a little bit of damage on the rear of that car. Not good for him. I doubt that is what he wants to see at all. We're going to have a look at Ryan Kwan's car, if I can get a look at it. If it keeps... Doesn't want to keep shuffling on me, but... There's Ryan Kwan. He makes his way into pit road. Maybe a little bit of damage there. Yes, there is a big dent on the back of that car. Yeah, this whole battle for him has just gotten a whole lot difficult, or more difficult, as... we have a look through the field. Derek Smith is still your leader. Connor Brand second. Keaton Jones third. Ryan Kendrick fourth. Michael Kenner fifth. Aaron Mulroney sixth. Josh Patterson seventh. Nick Miller eighth. For Nick, I just don't know if he can do it. While the whole buffer is starting to grow, he's ahead of the 90, so he is now 8 points behind the cutoff. I just don't know if it'll be enough for him to get in.
It's a tough battle now. Nick Miller and Malachi Drake are now, I believe they're going to restart in the same positions, like in the same area, 8th and 9th.
Yeah, Nick Miller for Nick Miller to be in at the moment, he would have to win the race. So this would be a very, very difficult, and that would have to have Malachi staying in the same spot as he was, as the looks like the 35 is going to the inside. I don't know what he's doing, but whatever. We're gonna have a look up front. Derek Smith is your leader. Once again, I've said that like 50 times, but yeah.
I mean, he's been dominant.
Yeah, it's just not much to talk about under these cautions. It's just not much. You can see why a lot of broadcasters go to commercial during this, but yeah. William Schmidt is in 9th. Good run for him tonight. He has a little bit of damage on that camera. Hopefully you can just get a little bit more speed out of that car and perhaps sneak into the top 5. Solid run for him tonight. Oh, he's in 14th. Okay. Weird. I guess he qualified 9th or whatever, but whatever. He is in 14th. Solid run for him. Perhaps a little bit more speed can get him in the top 5 or the top 10. Colton Knights is in the top 10 at the moment. 75. He stayed out alongside the 92, and he fell off a lot off the pace. He was running against the wall, as I observed earlier. Not a good call for, I guess, the people that run towards the 20th to 25th place bracket, but he's made his way back up in the 12th place, so solid run for him tonight. But the pace car is about to pull off onto pit road as the green flag's about to go back in the air.
iSCAR will roll off 2 by 2 behind all those guys. Derek Smith and Connor Brennan on the front row. Here's the restart.
Oh, Derek Smith slides the tires. That was a huge moment for him. That could have been a season-ending thing there. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
That had to be a heart-stopping moment there for Derek Smith.
That's going to allow Connor Brennan to come on the outside. Whoa, that was a scary moment for the 66 if you're Derek Smith. Huge moment there, but he was able to keep it straight. Now side-by-side battle into turn 3 and 4. Ryan Kendrick
big moving going on back here for Nick Miller. He's making his way around the 90. He's defending that spot. Now a big wreck in the back. Huge accident. As it looks like the 75 dove way down low. We are still under green, so no caution has come out. There was a big moment back there. 75 shot to the inside wall. No caution as he kept it going. But the 9 is still trying to make his way up through this running order. I don't think it's going to be enough for him to do it, but he's going to have to try as he might as he's starting to gap that 90. He probably has the cleanest car of the rest of the championship for it.
And here's the caution.
As the caution is out.
Once again, that was somebody near the back. I saw a couple guys slowing down on the front straightaway. There might have been some contact behind them, but couldn't quite identify who that person was. We might go to the replay here soon.
Trying to see it. Don't see anything. Whatever. Looks like an incident with Charlie Beyer once again. Not a good moment. Not a good race for Charlie today. Just unfortunate.
Oh yeah, it looks like he got loose, overcorrected, hit the 35 of Colton Lights, and I think he was blinking there. Not too much damage for some of these guys, but just a tough night for Charlie Beyer tonight.
As you're gonna go back live, we're gonna have
has him in the night he's looking for to gain some momentum for the end of the season.
Yeah, after this race, once again, it's going to be on Max Speed TV for the finale, as Derek Smith is way ahead of the pace car for some reason, but strange. Okay, but Derek Smith is going to be right behind the pace car.
So while we're under caution, I think it's good to mention that iSCAR will make its debut next week for the finales of the Truck Series and I believe the Xfinity Series on Max Speed TV. You can check out their channel at Max Speed TV on YouTube. It'll be the first race for iSCAR on the brand on the channel, and they'll be sticking around for the summer, so be sure to check that out. Next week, starting at I believe 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll have the race for the JPGS Truck Series Championship for Homestead Miami, and with the Cup Series on Saturday and the Xfinity Series on Sunday. So if you want to check out all the action next week for the championship weekend, check out Max Speed TV on YouTube.
Yeah, as this will be the final race for KMN, well, at least for my broadcast on KMN. This will be my final go at it, so this will be it for me. Ezeckiel will be alongside Rudy Cummings next week on Max Speed, but this week he will be making his final broadcast on the KMN channel for iSCAR for the foreseeable future. Still not, I don't know the details yet as far as the Super Late Series goes, as maybe he'll do a last hurrah over there, but I'm pretty certain that's going to be on Max Speed as well, but I don't know the full details on that, but he is now on Max Speed, so I would assume that the rest of the season or the series are from this point on or next week on, or yeah, from tomorrow onwards will be on Max Speed, so I believe that would leave what would it be? Forgot. North Force will be their Xfinity Series will be on the on KMN for the remainder of their series for next year or next season. So I believe this channel is not going away. It won't be as active as it was, but yeah, this will be my final go at it, and tomorrow will be Zeke's final go at it on KMN, and from this point on, it'll be on Max Speed TV. So you can go check those guys out. Rudy and Zeke will be on the call next week for the iSCAR finales.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see iSCAR get on Max Speed TV. Max Speed TV is a pretty big channel, so I think it's going to be big for iSCAR in terms of making their brand name known out there.
Yeah, iSCAR is pretty well known across a lot of leagues on Max Speed. A lot of people on the Max Speed leagues, I don't know if they'll join the league, but we may see a few more people going for the summer series, as we have a Super Speedway series. We have a Super Speedway series going on every summer, as that'll be a very exciting series to be a part of. Can't wait to run in that. Maybe make a good run for the championship there. Ryan Quam was your series champion. Excuse me. He was your series champion last season, so we'll see if he can defend that. But yeah. iSCAR champion Ryan Kwan is in 20th at the moment, not having a great run as far as points goes, but maybe this will be a pretty big break for Nick Miller here. Derek Smith is going to lead us back to green here, as he cannot make that same mistake that he did. As the pace car pulls on the pit road, Derek Smith is going to lead him to green, as he's going to step on that go pedal, and let's go. The green flag's back in the air, and the 92 and the 66 are battling for the lead, as the 65 blinks out, but he's going to push the 92 up the track. That was a really close moment. I don't know if the 65 knew he blinked there, but the 2 is not too far back. He's going to be too wide with that 77 there. It looks like it's been a battle between these two all day. Aaron Mulrooney and Keaton Jones have had a pretty intense battle here, but the 52 and the 77 are going to be side by side going on the front stretch, and yeah.
Yeah, handful of cars behind them. Nick Miller's now starting to make the move on the 77. Michael Kenner behind them. Shane DiMantoba, who was involved in an accident early today. The caution comes out again.
Caution comes out on the racetrack, but that is a great moment for Nick Miller, as looks like the 89 of Mitch Hobbs has gone around for a spin. We're going to have a look here as they go into turn 3, I believe. Mitch Hobbs is on the inside. I think this is Mitch Hobbs. Wait, where's Mitch? There's Mitch. Where is he? All right, so it looks like a little bit of an incident just ahead, but Mitch Hobbs has gone around. He went for a spin in turns 3 and 4. Yeah, so we're gonna have a look up front as Derek Smith has still maintained the lead as he is under caution once again. That was a big moment for Nick Miller though, as he is now, I believe he has the inside here, and he has now I think he would be 7-6. He's now 5 points behind Malachi Drake for the playoff transfer. Nick Miller's, oh, he hit the commitment box. Will that be a penalty?
Don't think it will, to be honest.
I don't know how iRacing's thing goes with that, but he hit the commitment, pastel box on the track. No, that had to be as close as he can get, but he's now 6th and Malachi Drake 9th, so it is now 7 or 5 points separating these two. So if Nick Miller gets 2nd or better and Malachi Drake stays where he is, Miller will be in. However, don't look too far back, as Christopher Wheel is one of your quickest guys here, and I believe he has a little bit of damage. Yeah, just a little bit of bruising on that 41. However, if he can get around that number 90, that'll just be more positions for Nick Miller, as once you get past up here in this series, or at least at this track, it's hard to stop the passes or losing spots if you lose a spot.
Yeah, definitely. And some more information on what the cause of the collision was. Looks like Mitch Hobbs was on the outside going into turn 1 and 2. He kind of got loose off the corner, overcorrected, and then smacked the wall, and that was the end of his night. So a tough break for him. He's kind of had a rough race tonight, but that kind of sealed the deal.
Yeah, and if you have a look at the iRacing Twitch account right now, they are doing their Saturday Night Thunder series, where they have a lot of drivers from the lower series. If you need an update on that, Kyle Weatherman won his, I believe he won his heat to transfer into the main event, but they're under caution as well for a incident with Chandler Smith, Anthony Alfredo, and Blake Cook. So unfortunate for those people. We wish them well, but this iSCAR battle here is what we came to see. So yeah, Derek Smith once again leads the way. It's been putting down a dominant performance here tonight. However, it's been between the 66 and 92, with the 65 being a little bit off them, but you never know. With a good time caution or a good time restart, he can perhaps steal the win away.
Yeah, Charlie Byer was disqualified from this. I'm not sure him wave around the pace car. I think he was going to continue, but he's been disqualified, so I think maybe some explanation after the race. So.
Maybe he could have caused the incident there with the, because if he caused the incident there with the number 89 of Mitch Hobbs, that would be a disqualification, as that's 3 out of 3 incidents, and that I believe is also a 1-week suspension. So that could be a. I
don't believe so. It was Mitch Hobbs it was just a solo incident for him, so I think that was the reason. But not sure why, Charlie. We're gonna have to give an extra for that after the race concludes.
Indeed, as we're going to have a look at this restart here, Derek Smith is going to lead him to green again. Way better restart for Ryan Kendrick as he gets all the way to the back bump. He's going to get to the back bump with the 66 here, but he clears the 92, so great restart for that number 65. The 77 is going to dive to the inside. Nick Miller is doing everything he can to keep his season intact. He's going to go all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to dive it down. Here comes the 9 down to the inside of the 52. He's going to dive to the inside. Oh, push him up the track a little bit. He's going to try to get this top 5 away from him as Malachi Drake is in 9th. 52 gets really loose on the outside. The 9 is going to be on the inside. And he's going to try to get to the inside here. Going to get a little bit of a bite off the corner as he's going to clear him. And that's a big moment for the number 9 of Nick Miller.
This is the comeback that Nick Miller wants right now. He's moved himself into, I believe, the top 5 now as he passed the 02 of Patterson. Now looking on the hunt on the 77 as in front of them, 92, Connor Brannon, the 65 are battling out in the 1.
Big moment for the 90 there as he got super loose off the corner and lost a spot to the 52, so that puts the number 5 or the number 9 of Nick Miller in 5th, and that's a little bit of a bigger cushion. Here comes the 41 to press to the attack on that number 90, as it's not that far back to the 27, but this is a big moment here, and Malachi Drake is going to power up to the backside of the 52. He's going to get super loose off the corner once again. That is not what the 90 needs. The 41's going to challenge on the outside of that 90. He's going to try to get the bite off the corner. He's going to cross him over, going into the turn number 2, going into 3 on the backstretch. He's going to go all the way to the inside. The 41's going to... He's being super aggressive with how he's driving there, but the 90 is so loose right now that I don't think he's going to be able to keep the spots, as this is what Nick Miller needs. As Nick Miller's still in 5th, he's not losing any spots.
Yeah, it looks like Derek Smith, in the prior restarts, he's been able to get that gap open, but now he hasn't been able to do so. Ryan Kendrick has maintained himself there with Connor Brannon behind him. Looks like this 3 or 4 car breakaway is now starting to happen. They're starting to spread just a little bit, but Derek Smith hasn't been able to open that gap a little more. Ryan Kendrick's going to gain on him off of 4.
Yeah, Ryan Kendrick is gaining on Derek Smith. He's getting a little bit more and more each lap. Kendrick being the winner in the Peter Kenny Graphic Design Series, as he is charging after that number 66 of Derek Smith. Connor Brannon not too far behind, though. We're going to go back to the battle with Nick Miller and Malachi Drake. Malachi Drake is starting to see Nick Miller slowly get smaller and smaller out his windscreen as he gets super loose off the corner. Nick Miller's driving really hard to try to keep that playoff transfer, as we're 100 laps into this race, 56 laps to go.
Still some pressure behind them. This kind of 5 cars right here, single file, but they've stayed within each other, as here's the 52 trying to make a move desperately on the 9. Not going to make it work. Now the 02 is going to have a little bit of the momentum. Nick Miller still in front. Here comes the 52. Down on the inside. Might move it.
Yeah, it's a big moment for Nick Miller there. 52 is going to get to the inside of him, but Nick Miller needs to get that run off the corner. He needs to drive really hard off this corner, as he's going to try to get there. The 52 is going to get to the inside, though. He's going to try to send it into turn 3 and 4. 52 is going to drift up the track. That's going to allow the 9 to get that run off the corner. He's going to get that nice solid drive off the corner. He's going to clear him going onto the front stretch.
Still 4-car breakaway in the front with Ryan Kendrick, Derek Smith, Connor Brannon, and Keaton Jones, the 2 proximity cars in 3rd and 4th. These guys not fighting for the championship, but still trying to cap off a good season for proximity racing this year. But here comes still 4-car breakaway. They're still within each other. Derek Smith has not been able to open the gap still. It looks like it's going to be interesting between these guys as the laps wind down and the tires fall off.
Yeah, it's a very big moment for Nick Miller here. He has to drive the best laps he can for the rest of this season. This will just have to be this is a season-defining moment, as Aaron Mulrooney has really dropped off the pace, so not a really good showing for Aaron. However, he is starting to close in on that 90, so maybe a bad pit stop put him back there, but this is what Nick Miller needs. He needs that 90 to battle the 2, because if he does that, that allows everybody else behind him to get that advantage with the fresher tires. I believe we can write off Kealoha Hankins and Ryan Kwan, as they are really far back in the order, but it'll just be between the 90 and the number 9 machine.
Yeah, Aaron Mulrooney also had some damage on the front end. I'm not sure where it came from, but that's kind of slowed him down just a little bit. But he's still there. He's still kind of fighting there. Christopher Wheels trying to make some moves, and if the 2 can make the move on Malachi Drake, and if the others can follow suit past him, this will be the perfect situation for Nick Miller, who's still fighting for his life in front of the 52.
Yeah, Nick Miller is just doing everything he can to save his season. These final 2 races in this round were not that great, as the 2 is starting to close it on that 90. Every lap, that 2 is getting closer, so that is really what Nick Miller needs to see. He needs him to battle him as hard as he can. But Ryan Kendrick and Derek Smith are leading the way. As you can see, these top four have started to break away from Nick Miller, but Nick Miller is just trying to break away from everybody else. As Aaron Mulrooney gets to the inside of that number 90. The 90 is going to lose another spot to the 41. 41, he's going to slide it right back in the 90. Right back in behind the 90.
Yeah, if you're Malachi Drake, you do not want to lose any more spots. He's still trying to get into this transfer spot. Any lost point is just one little hit to his season.
Every lost spot is just a little. It's just so detrimental, as Christopher Weil is not far behind him, but Ryan Kendrick is having some more connection issues. But this is going to be the battle here. Nick Miller starting to be closed in by the 52, but the 52 is really overcooking the corners. But Aaron Mulrooney is not too far back. Aaron and Nick are pretty good friends off the track, so maybe they might help each other out here, as Aaron is an independent in the series, so he doesn't really have to follow anyone's orders. But Derek Smith is up front. He's probably in an intense call with Nick Miller right now on what's gonna have to happen here.
Yeah, and if we have a green flag run, a long green flag run here, we haven't seen that tonight, but so far it's looking pretty clean. The field seems single file as we speak. So if we see this long green flag run, how do you think this tire situation will affect some of these chase drivers, especially going into the transfer spot?
For Malachi Drake, the longer the run goes on, he's going to have to short it because he just used those tires up. That car is so loose off going into the corner and so tight off the corner, so he's just been kind of just... I just don't think he can be able to keep that spot under those tires, so he's going to have to try some extra strategy to get himself going. Or get himself back on track.
And speaking of some of the guys who are still fighting for that transfer spot, Keloa Hankins isn't too far back in 11th. He hasn't been able to catch up to Christopher Will just yet, and they haven't been able to put pressure on each other. But so far, Keloa Hankins could look at a couple positions here if these guys kind of tangle up.
Yeah, Keloa Hankins is he's given the, well, I guess we could say he's given the rest of the field a really good run for their money here. Where's Keloa? He's on the outside, or no, he's not on the outside. He's trying to make his way up through there, as Josh Patterson has gotten passed by the 90, so that is a very big pass for Malachi Drake there. But yeah, this is very crucial for these as these laps wind down.
Yeah, Josh Patterson's getting really loose off the corners. I'm not sure if he kind of used up his tires. Oh, he's in the wall off the dog leg. He's able to keep it straight. Hard hit for him. He's probably going to go dive down pit road to get some repairs. Looks like he used up his tires just a little bit too much, and that's hurting.
He's going to dive on the pit road. That's a smart call by him. You know, you can't really stay out much longer, but Josh Patterson's going to dive on the pit road. So, not a season-ending moment, but we're going to look up front. Derek Smith is having a little bit of connection issues, but top five have not changed since the restart. Nick Miller is actually starting to reel in the leaders a little bit by bit each lap.
Yeah, Keen Jones kind of fell off the top four. He was with them just a little bit earlier behind Connor Brandon. It looked like he was going to make a move, but now as the run is progressing, he's starting to fall off just a little bit, and that means he's inching closer to Nick Miller, he's going for any position he can get on the track right now.
Yeah, Nick Miller has to do anything he can to keep that spot. I don't think he's going to be able to win the race. He just has to bank on everybody else losing their spots. But Nick Miller is obviously in not a good point situation right here. Yeah, Nick Miller has to. He's doing everything he can to save his season as the 0-2 gets lapped, and he's at right the wrong time. So maybe the 9 can let him by on a straightaway or something, but that 0-2 is going to try to fly right by Nick Miller.
Yeah, fresh tires mean everything at these tracks, especially with the new tire model. Now up front, Derek M. Smith is now going to make a move on the lap car. He's going to lap 54 of Grayson Trexler. He's going to let him by just easily. Trexler had a couple issues earlier in the race. He's been involved in some wrecks. You see the huge damage on the front end of that car. Not the night he wanted tonight, but as you see the top three kind of breaking away now, that's allowed Derek M. Smith to open the gap on the 65.
Well, with all this, that leaves 14 cars on the lead lap, so that's a very, very positive thing for everybody else. Because Nick Miller, oh, Ryan Kwan is, oh, never mind, nothing happened. But Ryan Kwan is one of the last guys on the lead lap, and Corbin Collins is the last guy on the lead lap. So Ryan Kwan is having a little bit of connection issues, but other than that, no, he's fine. But yeah, Ryan Kwan is not having the day he needed. He needed to put a lot more time into this race, and I just feel like it just wasn't there. But Aaron Mulrooney's in 6th. I believe he's just behind Nick Miller. Yes, there he is. Nick Miller and Aaron Mulrooney having a battle, or yeah, a battle here for position here. Not sure if it's going to be enough for Nick Miller to hang on, though.
Yeah, if this run continues, I think we're going to see a couple of these drivers kind of stack up. They've been separated, especially within the from 4th on back, but now we're seeing the field. Now we're seeing these guys, especially in this group, they're going to probably start tangling together. You see Grayson Trexler staying in front of the 77. That might hurt his time just a little bit. Nick Miller will kind of catch up here, and Aaron Mulrooney behind him. He's not going to back down either. He's looking to have a good run on at the end of the season.
Yeah, he has to cap off everybody that's not in this championship hunt right now is just trying to end this season on a high note. And that's pretty much the key for any league, is just if you're not in the series or the fight for the championship, you know, just the whole goal is to end the season on a high note, make sure it's not on a low note, so you can start the next season off with a little bit of momentum, and that'll be it for them. But right now it's Malachi Drake that holds the transfer spot. Nick Miller just needs a little bit more time, a little bit more position on the track to be able to have a fighting chance for it. Kealoha Hankins is right behind Malachi, doing everything he can to try to get up to him. He's going to actually get really close to him. He's going to get really close to him going into the corner, but I don't think anything's going to happen as far as that goes. But it's all Derek Smith up front, as we are going to go side by side as pit stops are about to go underway at Phoenix Raceway.
He lost to Mulrooney. He lost the spot, so he was definitely falling off on the long run.
Just as we are about to go to break, the caution is out for the 7th time, I believe, tonight. Not sure what the caution's for, but it's a very big moment there. I think Kealoha Hankins went for a little bit of a ride there, and no, I'm not sure what happened, but an incident involving Derek. No, not Derek Smith. Was it Derek Smith? No, it can't be Derek Smith. No, he's good. Trying to have a look at the event viewer here. Not seeing anything. Maybe something here? No. Okay. I'm not sure what brought out the caution here tonight, but this is a very big turning point for this race. Kealoha Hankins. Yes, it was Kealoha Hankins that went around for a spin. Unfortunate for him. But, yeah, that is not a good moment for Kealoha, as we are going to go back live to where the 66 has dived onto pit road. Oh, my, want to go live. There we go. All right, we are back live here at this track as Kealoha Hankins stays out.
Ryan Kwan is disconnected, so just a horrible night for him tonight. He couldn't get the run tonight, and he disconnected. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if he was involved in the caution, but tough night for Ryan Kwan. Looks like that's gonna end his season. Yeah, he's gonna lose a lot of points for that.
Very unfortunate ending for Ryan Kwan, but Nick Miller and Malachi Drake are now right next to each other on this restart. Well, no, never mind.
So we had a big battle on pit road. Keaton Jones got in front of the 65 of Ryan Kendrick. Kind of a hiccup for Kendrick there. I think Keaton might have. Not sure if he took 2 tires or if he just had the faster stop, but great pit stop for the 77.
He officially
Nick
stayed
Miller
out on the racetrack.
Still behind Aaron Mulrooney. He fell back. He lost that spot to Aaron Mulrooney before the caution came out. Malachi Drake now will follow suit behind him.
A big development on this racetrack. Kealoha Hankins stays out. and he cannot pit now as we got the 2 to green. This will be the season-defining restart for Kealoha Hankins. This will be...
Yeah, this is everything, and especially since Nick Miller's now behind him, and Malachi Drake, if he can pull this off, I'm not sure with the old tires whether he can, especially now since pretty much practically everyone behind him is pit. But this is a big move for Kealoha Hankins, and I think it's necessary if you're Kealoha Hankins trying to get into that transfer spot.
Yeah, you just have no choice at this point. I mean, if you've shown that you didn't have the speed to, get on points. So I guess this is just it's just out of desperation that he has to pull this move. I mean, it could work out, but I'm just saying it's going to be very, very telling on how this championship's about to play out as we get the 1 to go. This will be a very thrilling restart for Kealoha Hankins and the rest of the field. Yeah.
I'm curious to see whether Kealoha has the same thing that Derek had earlier in the race, where the tire spin kind of affects the restart. I'm not sure if we'll see that, but it's going to be interesting coming to green.
It'll be certainly a thing to watch out for. But, yeah, this will be probably one of the craziest restarts of this season, if there isn't a wreck. But,
yeah, we've come to 30 laps to go, so this is crunch time if you're these guys up front.
Yeah, if you're them, it's now or never. You don't know if you're going to get a caution here, but the green is about to come right back out on the racetrack as Kealoha Hankins' pace car dives on the pit road. The 72 gets going. He doesn't spin the tires. Great restart for that 72. That is what he needed to get going.
Oh.
He dives to well, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, the fresh tires is just too much.
Yeah, I guess he just was intimidated by it. But lap lead point for Kealoha. This will be... I don't know if he'll have a chance now as he falls back to 11th in 3 corners.
Whoa.
But, all right. Well, so much for all that. But there's going to be a challenge for the lead here as that 92 is starting to close in on that 66. The 65 doesn't really get a good restart. But, yeah, I guess that was just product of Kealoha staying out.
Christopher Wheel now passing the 90 of Malachi Drake behind him. Malachi tried making a move in turn 1 on Nick Miller, but just couldn't get it. Looks like he got a little wide on the corner. Christopher Wheel was allowed to slip by, and now there's behind him, I think that's the 82 behind him in the Ford Motorcraft car, and the 79 of William Schmidt.
Yeah, Nick Miller is still not the transfer spot holder. This will just be a very close battle at the end, but I think Nick Miller is just starting to slowly see that his hopes of that championship are going to have to come down to a late caution out of I don't know, a very desperate move to stay out. But maybe Nick Miller and Malachi Drake Nick Miller and Derek Smith will work together here on a final restart, given we get one to get Nick in the final 4.
Yeah, we've had a couple guys pass each other. Maroney has worked himself into 4th. It looks like he took advantage of Ryan Kendrick here. Christopher Wheel's gotten around Nick Miller off turn 2 going into the dogleg. Got very loose into the dogleg. Now the 2 chase drivers, Miller and Drake, gonna have some battle here.
Yeah, they're right next to each other, so this would be a very big moment for Nick Miller and Malachi Drake. I'm not sure if Nick will have enough car or has enough in his car to get going, but Christopher Wheel's going to start to drive off from Nick Miller. Nick Miller's really great on the long runs, but I just feel like they get too far away for him to be able to use that to his advantage.
Yeah, for sure. As now, with about 25 laps remaining in this race, Connor Brannon is starting to make a move. He's starting to pressure the 66. We've seen this all night. We've seen them kind of fluctuate between Derek and Connor, opening gaps on each other, especially in the top 4. But now I think Connor Brannon's going to try to go for it now. He's got nothing to lose at this point. He's right now in the second position. He's been great all day. I think this is it if he's going to go for the win and lock himself in, even if he's already locked in point.
Yeah, if he wins, he's in. So, I mean, it's just... it's going to be this is the time for him to pull a very, very drastic move to maybe steal the win away from Derek Smith, but it's been all him up front as Derek Smith is leading as the 77 gets a little loose off the corner, but good rebound for Aaron Mulrooney to get up to fourth and challenge for third here, as I think he's going to get it going in this corner. No, he won't. He just gets back up to the back of that number 77, but it's all Derek Smith up front, but Connor Brandon's starting to reel him in. He's probably pushing the issue with that 66.
And I mentioned earlier prior to the race, I said that Aaron Mulrooney would have a long car, and he's showing that right now. I mean, certainly not the long run as the caution came out prior, but so far he's had himself a good race. He's fallen back just a little bit, but he came back up. He's maintained himself in the top 5 and the top 10. Now he's trying to make a move into the podium position on Keaton Jones going into turn 3.
Yeah, big moves throughout the mid of the pack. Keaton Jones is doing a great job trying to hold on, but the 2 is going to get that run going into the corner, and that's going to give the spot away to Aaron Mulrooney. So great. This is a season where the championship just snuck away from Aaron Mulrooney. Not really a great season for Aaron Mulrooney. He just had a bad week. And just those 2 piled on and put himself into a similar situation that Nick Miller's in, as that hope for a championship is just as every lap takes on. It's just an extra lap, knowing that he's no longer going to have a shot at that title.
Behind them, Nick Miller still holding off the 90 of Malachi Drake. He's fallen back from Christopher Wheel. I think it's going to go down to the wire between these guys in points once this race ends. If we see another caution, it could stack up the field again. We might see some more strategy calls, but so far, Nick Miller still holding off the 90 of Malachi Drake. The 52 gets real loose behind them. That's Michael Kenner. He had a great race earlier today in the top 5, but looks like he kind of fell back there. He's got some damage. Now lost the position to William Schmidt.
Yeah, William Schmidt having a pretty good rebound in 10th place. He's been a really consistent driver throughout the season. Unfortunately, he was eliminated early on in the Cup chase. Not really great for William, but he's been able to, rebound. He won the Xfinity race at Michigan, so he's still a winner this season. It's a good takeaway to at least come off the season with a win at a track where at least a little bit of skill is required. Michigan not being an easy track, but up front it's all Derek Smith leading the way at this.
Well, Derek is on Miller's team, so.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of a win for them if he can hold off Connor Brandon till the end of this race.
Yeah, it's just going to be a very, very close battle to the end for this championship. However, I believe it's going to be Brandon, Smith, Kendrick, and Drake to be the ones for the championship here.
Seems like the field is spread out just a little bit more. These guys, especially with the attrition we've had in this race, especially early on, now these guys are spreading out just way more than they used to earlier in the race. There was not as many battles through the middle of the field as we were seeing earlier. I think now these guys are just settling into these positions as the run progresses.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very exciting battle here for the win here. Actually, Derek Smith is starting to put a little bit of distance on that 92 machine, so I believe Ryan Kendrick and Malachi Drake are going to be the ones that hold that final 2 transfers, as Nick Miller I think it's going to be too little too late for him.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has the run to go up into the top 5 and take a win. He's run strong though. He started 25th. He didn't run a single practice lap. I think this is still impressive to finish 7th in this race. He's had an up and down night. Obviously, the main focus is the championship, and of course, if he's staying here and if the field stays the way they are when this race ends, he'll just be short of making the championship 4. But just a very roller coaster night for the night of Nick Miller.
Yeah, just not a really great way to start out or end the season. He's been really strong all year. He was signed on to a new team a few weeks ago, Sim Performance Group. So, I mean, it's not all bads or not all negatives for Nick Miller. Just not a great way to end off the season or cap it off.
Yeah, Kilo Hankins now on the track. He's got put lap down.
Yeah, and I believe that's going to take him out of it officially. But what a bummer it has to be for Aaron Mulrooney to see these guys racing for a championship and just knowing that it's going to have to wait another season for him to have a shot at it.
And to see all these guys passing the 72 now. Keaton Jones, Ryan Kendrick, Christopher Wheel, they've stayed within each other. Still haven't made moves on each other. It looks like they've just been equal. They haven't been able to really make moves, and if this run keeps going on and they'll maintain, I'm pretty sure they'll maintain here. Looks like this might be the finishing order unless a caution comes out or something happens here.
Yeah, caution would certainly change everything in this race, but I believe this is how, as you said, this is how they're going to finish, and I don't think it's going to be much else to say about it, as Derek Smith has just put on a dominating performance along with Connor Brandon.
Yep, 10 laps to go, I believe will be this time by for Derek M. Smith. He's had the greatest, he's had a great run tonight. He's been dominant, especially throughout this season. We've seen him. It's not uncommon to see Derek M. Smith in the front of the field. He picked up a win at Charlotte a couple of weeks ago. He's maintained his consistency, and he's with this win. This is just going to seal him with more momentum going into Homestead next week.
Yeah, it's going to seal his I guess opinion of his competitors or his opinion of his competitors or from his competitors on how he's looked on his speed, and he's certainly shown that he's one of the top drivers in iSCAR. He's certainly he's joined iRacing within the last 2 years and 3 years now. 2017 feels like yesterday, but Derek Smith, he's joined the sim in the last 3 years, and he's really shown that he's one of the best drivers in this league. So Derek Smith is slowly just taking off the laps, and he's about to get another win on the season.
Yep, Connor Brandon looks like he put on the pressure, but I think as the run has concluded, now he's losing time to Aaron Mulrooney. I think Aaron Mulrooney is starting to catch up just a little bit more as the laps wind down. I think he was just using his tires just a little bit too much. He was trying to put the pressure on the 66, and it almost worked, but still a good finish for Connor Brandon. He won last night. I think he's had a pretty good week, especially rounding it off here with that. I'm pretty sure he'll be racing tomorrow, but so far just a good run for him.
Yeah, really great run for him so far tonight, and just a great way to cap off the season for him. Lap 151, 5 laps to go. Or no, I believe it would be 6. Yeah, 6 laps to go for the championship, or to seal the championship contending drivers into their spots. And it's all been Derek Smith up front.
And just not much to talk about. These guys are all spread out now. So you see they're lapping the other cars now.
Derek's put on a clinic, so it's not much to talk about when someone puts on such a dominating performance. Wish we got a caution here, or else we'd have a very big storyline to talk about, but just not much.
Yeah, especially with this new tire model. It's all about saving the tires. It's all about keeping them... Oh, wow. Brandon just got very loose off the corner there, but as I was saying, these tire models just enable these guys to they change their mentality in terms of how to save their tires. And it's created a big effect for a lot of these drivers, especially into the long runs that we've seen probably about 2, and we're experiencing one right now. I think it will go to the end of this race, but...
Yeah, this is going to be a very big moment for Derek Smith to win and secure himself into the championship for an iSCAR. It's been a very good season for him, and it's just a pretty good guy, and you just like to see it for Derek Smith. So good moment for Derek Smith, and as the season comes to an end with 3 laps to go here at ISM not on to 2, it's going to be a very big win for Derek Smith.
Yeah, and his fan base is going to be happy too.
Yeah, definitely.
Big fan base.
Smith champ, as they say.
Yeah, we've seen a bunch of his supporters in the chat tonight.
Yeah, it's been a very, very good race to be a Derek Smith fan. I can tell you that. But as we come up on the white flag for one more time around at Phoenix, as Derek Smith rockets off that corner. White flag is in the air. No, 2 laps to go. Yeah, white flag. Okay. I'm a little bit. My scoring's a little bit behind. But Derek Smith, he's put on a clinic here tonight, and this will just secure it for the championship 4 at Homestead next week. Derek Smith, as he goes to 3 and 4 the final time at this speedway, he's going to rocket off that corner. And Derek Smith is going to secure himself into the championship 4. Derek Smith wins at ISM.
Connor Brennan finishes second. Great run for him tonight. Aaron Mulrooney in third. Great comeback for him as well. Ryan Kendrick in fourth, rounding out the top 5. Christopher Wheel, after being involved in a wreck early in this race, he fought himself back up to the top 5. Oh no, he is in 6th. My bad. Keaton Jones finished in 4th.
Yeah.
Nick Miller finished in 7th. Tough break for him. I don't believe he'll be advancing.
Yeah, that is going to secure for Nick Miller. He's going to come out and join his teammate on the front stretch.
Nope.
Yeah, that's Nick Miller. Okay. So this is a very big win for Derek Smith. Not the season, or not the end of the season that Nick Miller wanted, but you know what? You gotta take those losses sometimes, and Nick Miller just unfortunately just can't get it this season. As Derek Smith is burning it down on the front stretch, we're going to go to break. We'll be back with interviews with your winner here tonight in iSCAR. Okay, give me a second.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Give me a second.
I've got a piece. open that so I can just keep that on tab.
All right, we are back here at Phoenix Raceway, where we have your championship 4. It will be Connor Brandon, Derek Smith, Ryan Kendrick, and Malachi Drake fighting for that championship next weekend on Max Speed TV. Join in at 8 p.m. Eastern to watch that race. It'll be at Homestead Miami Speedway, as NASCAR used to do it, and that'll be a very exciting battle to the end of the season. If I could just have a look at my... I'm going to try to toggle the results here, if we can have a look at...
Yep.
Give me a second. Overall, show... okay, I have no idea what's going on with this.
You want me to go over them for now?
No, I'm just trying to get the overlay done. Right.
Okay.
That's not the right one I wanted to open up. Where is the results? Okay, we're just going to go through the results. So give me a second to... we're going to go through them right here. So if you want to read them off.
Well, certainly the day for Derek Smith. He finishes in first. He wins the race, locks himself into the championship 4. Connor Brennan follows behind in second place. A good race for him. Aaron Mulrooney third. Keaton Jones fourth, rounding out the top 5. Ryan Kendrick. Christopher Wheel with an accident. Early in the race, he rebounded to a 6th place position. Nick Miller on a just came up short on the championship. Finishes 7th. Malachi Drake, he's in the championship 4. He finished 8th. Brandon Warwood's in 9th. William Schmidt rounds out your top 10. Corbin Collins, Michael Kenner, Dane Cruzolo from 11th to 13th. Grayson Trexler, who was lapped down. That starts the car's lap down in 14th. Keloa Hankins, not the night for him tonight. He finishes 15th. Josh Patterson, Cole Mites, Shane DiMantova, Ryan Kwan down to 19th place. Ryan Kwan, also not the lap. He finishes 35 laps down. Jackson Hartman, Cade McKee, Charlie Byer, Mitch Hobbs, Marsha Ryder in 24th. Grayson Collins, 25th. Casey Drake, Matthew Klein, 26th and 27th, excuse me. Joe Berge, 28th. Caden Denny finishes in his debut in 29th. Michael Bianchini, Caden Atkins, and Michael DiMaggio round out the field for tonight.
All right, we're going to have to get our championship 4. So we are going to go through our championship 4, and let me just go back to nothing here. So we're going to go through this championship 4. It's been a thriller of a season. So we're going to drag in our last of which to be in the championship 4, which would be Malachi Drake. Malachi Drake, it's us from the KMN booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Yeah, you came home with a somewhat all right day. You came home in the championship 4. Nick Miller finally it looks like he finally got a hold of his car and was able to make a run at it at the end. Were you kind of nervous in these or in the final 50 laps or so?
Oh, I was a little bit nervous about my position whenever Kendrick was way up there, and I really couldn't get anywhere probably past 6th. I was just running 6th to 10th, so I was a little bit worried about that when Quan was running up there, and then once Quan had his problems, and I knew I was pretty secure, so I just that last run I just kind of rode around in 8th place.
Yeah. Talk to us about your just season in general. Would you call yourself a championship 4 contending driver with the I don't believe you have any wins this season, but with the strong performances you've had, do you think you anything you could if you were to do it again, like what races would you redo if you could do again?
I'm not really sure if there's any like particular race I would like to redo, but I do know there's some races where I was just too passive to start with, and then it put me in some bad positions whenever I probably could have ran better than what I showed. So I just wish in general I would have ran a little bit harder at some tracks than what I did.
All right, you came home in, I believe it was 7th place, right? You came home with a very solid, or 8th place. You came home in 8th. You came home with a pretty solid penultimate race here in this season. Anyone you'd like to thank for tonight's performance?
Just like to thank my team, Miller Motorsports, for helping each other work together all season, and to put basically 3 out of the 4 being us in there. So really happy about that, and thank you guys for broadcasting and for hosting the league.
All right, that is Malachi Drake. He came home in the final spot for the championship 4. Malachi, good luck next week at Homestead.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to drag in our 3rd championship 4 contending driver, Ryan Kendrick. It's us from the KMN booth. We'll let Kenneth take this one. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, Ryan, you've certainly had a good race today. You finished in the top 5. First of all, tell us how your race kind of went in the race. With Smith and Connor Brand and a couple of these guys up front.
Well, we started second, I think, and I thought I had maybe a top 3 car, and maybe if I had track position, I could run up there with them. But I didn't want to. Once I got around 5th or 6th or wherever it was, I just kind of settled there and didn't want to force it because I knew about where I had to finish, and 5th or 4th would have been more than enough. So, yeah.
Well, now you're in the championship 4. First of all, congratulations on being in the championship 4. Now you're fighting for a championship next week at Homestead. How do you feel going into this race? And basically, what's your mindset going into this final event?
Well, it's kind of like every week. I know who I have to beat. It's pretty much the same drivers that run up front every week, so I kind of know what to expect from them. And about you're probably going to have to win the race to win the championship this week. So yeah, that's the mindset for next week. Is just I'd be in a good enough position to contend for the win.
Well, before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to thank? Any people from your teams you want to thank on your championship run this season?
Yeah, want to give a shout out to everyone at Miller Motorsports. We got 3 of us in the Final 4, and want to give a new shout out to Eva Sim Sport. And I recently joined their team, so yeah.
Well, you next week. It's certainly going to be an exciting race. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time to join us here on KMN. We wish you luck next week at Homestead. It's going to be fun.
Thank you.
All right, that was Ryan Kendrick. We're going to pull in our 2nd championship contending driver. Oh, whoops. Derek Smith, you came home 2nd in the championship standings for going into the final race. Talk to us about your race tonight. You were the dominant car and you also won the race. But things aside, you came home 2nd. Well,
yeah,
2nd in the standings. So talk to us about your race tonight.
Oh, it was a really perfect race for me. I was hitting my marks everywhere. Aaron told me some advice. For some reason, I was always thinking, yeah, I'll stay passive. But whenever he said it, for some reason, it clicked a little bit, and I went a lot more passive, and that's what helped me pull away from people like Connor on long runs by like a second or two. Yeah, overall, good race. Actually, perfect race for me.
Yeah, and talk to me about your little battle with Connor. I mean, once he stayed out, like when you saw him stay out, did you decide, okay, I can go in and pass the guys that would possibly stay out? And it was only Connor. So talk to us about your battle with Connor there.
I was a couple of times on the restart, I would spin my tires, and I would be scared that Connor would take me over, because one of the restarts we were battling for 3 laps, and the caution came out, which I had a big sigh of relief there. And but otherwise, I was able to keep it in front by about 4/10 for most of the time until his tires started to give out more.
Yeah, and you came home with pretty much a dominating run after that one restart earlier in the race. Overall, going into the final race of the season, what are you expecting for Homestead?
I'm not sure. The iRacing update might have a big effect on how I run Homestead because I'm not used to that. And I've run Homestead a couple times in the past month, so I might be too used to the old setup rather than the old track surface rather than the new one. Otherwise, I'll just try and stay passive again. Hopefully that'll work.
All right, that is Derek Smith. Anyone you'd like to thank for tonight's performance?
Yeah, I would like to thank the couple fans in my chat. Like, yeah, I won't say names, but
We
they're
appreciate your
good.
dislikes.
Smith champ.
Oh yeah.
Smith champ.
I was gonna say that if you could pull Brandon in, but he's not in the waiting room, so what an
He
idiot.
is. Oh,
Oh,
Brandon.
he is.
Or Connor
Brandon
Brandon.
Barr.
Oh, yeah.
Bar
no.
714.
Nah, he's
Yeah.
not in.
Yeah, but I just want to thank them and Miller Motorsports for giving me updates and stuff throughout the race.
All right, that's Derek Smith. You came home first in that 66 machine, Derek. Best of luck going into next week, and hope to see you as a champion.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're going to bring in Connor Brandon, our final championship 4 driver. We'll let Kenneth take this one as well.
Hey Connor, we're here up in KMN the booth. You got it.
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, Connor, you started strong. You had this race performing practically perfect, and you finished in second. First of all, tell me how your race went. Tell me how the car felt, especially from the long run and through the beginning of the race and the cautions.
My race went pretty good. I mean, the car was good. I knew I had winning pace, but I just couldn't get Derek at the end there. I thought I had the pace, but me and him were both really fast and could just never get around him.
Well, Connor, next week is Homestead. You're leading the points currently. You're in the catbird seat for the championship. Now you're fighting for the championship next week. Tell us your mindset. How does it feel, especially going into this championship race, knowing you're going to be in the lead and fighting for it all?
I'm glad to be there. I mean, it's going to be tough to beat Derek. I know. I just have to go in there with a positive mindset and make sure I have a really good race because I know Derek's not going to be easy to beat there at Homestead. And it's not one of my better tracks, so I'll definitely just have to go there and do the best job I can to be able to win.
Well, Connor, congratulations on being a part of the championship for this season. We're looking forward to see you go for the championship at Homestead next week. Obviously, is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank Proximity Racing. I mean, we've had such a good season, and I'm glad to be part of it. And I want to also thank Steven Merslack for painting that car that I've been using all season.
Well, of course, certainly. Beautiful paint scheme you ran out there tonight. Thank you for taking your time to join us in the booth up here tonight. Congratulations on a great run today, and we're looking forward to see you at Homestead. Good luck.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that was Connor Brandon. He came home with the points lead, I believe, in the race. Good luck. Or he left, but whoops. Okay. Connor Brandon, he was your second place car tonight. He was I believe he was the points leader now, or unless they're tied. Well, everybody's tied in the top 4. So we're gonna drag in 2 more people. Aaron Mulrooney. It's us in the KMN booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
All right, Aaron. You didn't really have an all right car. I mean, I guess you mired back in 4th or 3rd around the whole race. But talk to us about your race tonight.
Yeah, our race was pretty good. We know we had some ups and downs. So I probably screwed up the most in qualifying, where I started 6th. I just missed my line coming off of 4, and it put me about 200s in the red actually. And I started 6th and I was able to work my way through the field. Then on one of these starts, we actually jammed up, and I hit the 77 in the rear, and that caused some front damage. So after that, I came in, got it fixed, had to start from 17th, worked my way through the field up to 5th. Caution came out, came in, took tires. And I think we went green from there on. So, I was working my way through the field. Everyone was trying to burn up their tires, trying to pass everybody. I was just running my race and conserving tires and making sure I could get there in the end. And I got 3rd place. So I'll definitely take this finish after an interesting 60 laps initially.
All right. And overall, throughout the entire race, I mean, you certainly were able to, keep the guys that you passed behind you. But overall, how was the track surface and everything with the race tonight?
track surface was interesting. You know, it didn't have really that much grip coming off the turn once you got into the later part of the run, and especially the apron and the dog leg cost probably a lot of people a lot of time because if you just kept running it, it would eventually damage the splitter, and the splitter would eventually change the handling of the car. So I try to just run the dog leg sometimes. Usually, I think I ran it most of the race tonight though. But yeah, I liked how the track surface was tonight. You know, it had some pretty good grip, and it was just basically about conserving your tires until the end.
All right, that was Aaron Mulrooney. Anyone you'd like to thank tonight for tonight's race?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you and Kenneth for broadcasting tonight, Liam. I'd also like to thank Miller Motorsports for the help in iSCAR. I'd also like to thank my main team, Sim Performance Group, and Commonwealth Stain Painting Professionals.
All right, that's Aaron Mulrooney. Good, or I would say good luck at the championship for
And Splash Go Graphics, because they made this number 2 machine look pretty good tonight in 3rd place.
All right, Aaron. We'll see you in the Homestead next week on Max Speed TV. Good luck in the final race of the season, and good luck next season.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah. All right, we're going to drag in one final person, William Schmidt, since he's so patiently waited in the chat. We're going to let Kenneth take this one. William Schmidt, you came home, I believe, 10th in that number 79 machine. 10th or 9th, I don't know exactly, but you came home in the top 10. What the heck? Okay. You came home in the top 10 tonight. Talk to us about your race, or we'll let Kenneth take it.
Well, William, you've had a solid day today. You ran pretty solid here at Phoenix. Tell us how this car kind of felt, especially with the early cautions. We saw you were around the field. You were around some of those cautions. Tell me how that was kind of going for you.
Honestly, I think as soon as Charlie Meyer got spun in front of us and we got basically kind of like pancaked in there, that was just kind of where it just kind of started going downhill for us. Because I think the next caution was with Trexler and Hartman, and yeah, we barely got nicked in there, and we ended up spinning to the inside wall. Surprisingly, not a lot of damage there, but it did kind of hinder us in the performance a little bit. But yeah, somehow we were able to come home with the 10th place out of it. I have no idea how, but I mean, hell, top 10's a top 10.
Well, certainly a good race for you tonight. Well, next week is Homestead. You're not fighting for the championship, but you are hungry for a win. Tell me how you're going to approach this race. This is the final race. How do you think you're going to leave a good impression on these guys at the end of the season?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I'd be the least likely guy to win at Homestead, but honestly, I think fuel strategy might be the only way I can. But I mean, it worked kind of once with the JTP series at Michigan, but caught an untimely caution, but still won. But yeah.
Well, before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank for the solid run tonight during the season?
Yeah, of course I want to thank my sponsors, Motorsport United with Justin Johnson and Side Drafting Productions with Dog. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time to join us in the interview. We wish you luck at Homestead next week. We're hoping to see you up front next week.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was William Schmidt. We're going to drag in one more person. I guess the final, or the first guy out, Nick Miller, you came home with a very, very steep hill in front of you to get into the championship for. Unfortunately, you were a little bit short. Talk to us about your race tonight.
Yeah, it was mixed. We were kind of fast, kind of not. We just kind of sat in the back with the wrecks happening early on. We just worked our way up to the front around halfway and just stayed there. But with Kendrick, he's just so good at Phoenix, and Drake being as consistent as he is, we would have needed a big miracle to move on to the Final Four after what happened last week.
Yeah, you almost caught it on a restart with Derek sliding his tires coming out of 4, coming to the restart. You almost got your break that you needed. Unfortunately, you just came up a little short. It's kind of surprising to see you not in it, but any race you could look back at and say, hey, if I could just do this again, maybe I'd get in.
Yeah, Indianapolis for sure. We were definitely very fast in the long run. Just got screwed over with Keaton just getting tight and hit the wall. And then we got sent to the back and involved in that other wreck right after. I think if I would have finished that race, we would have been in the Final Four right now for tonight.
All right, Nick Miller, you came home, or you're going to come home hopefully 5th in points, I believe, with the other 2 408 cars. DNFing, I think. Wait, no, Quan DNF'd. Whatever. Anyways, he came home, hopefully 5th in points, maybe to salvage this season. Overall, looking back on the season, how was it?
Very good. Out of our, since racing in iSCAR is probably definitely our best, most consistent. Finally got some more wins other than super speedways, so it was nice. I had fun.
All right, Nick, you came home. You're gonna come home 5th in points. Anyone you'd like to thank for tonight's performance?
SPG, Miller Motorsports. We got like 3 of the 4 in the final 4. Will be nice. That's about it. Just hoping to shock the take a win away next week at Homestead from the chase.
All right, Nick Miller, you came home, I believe, top 5, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
no, 7th.
7th or so. You came home 7th. Best of luck next week to end the season on a high note. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was Nick Miller, and that'll do it for our interviews tonight. We're going to have a look once again at your championship 4. That'll be these 4 drivers: Connor Brandon, Derek Smith, Ryan Kendrick, and Malachi Drake. You guys can tune in next week on Max Speed TV to watch this thriller of an event. It'll be, I'm not sure the exact distance of the race, but it'll be full of drama and storylines to follow along with. But yeah, these 4, the outlier of these 4 is Connor Brandon, driving for Proximity Racing, and yeah, so we're gonna have to see how this championship plays out for them. And yeah, you can tune that in with Ezeckiel Reyes and Rudy Cummings on the call next week. Want to thank Kenneth Bueno for joining us tonight in the booth. Kenneth, it's been a pleasure. We're gonna see. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Or iSCAR will be back next week or tomorrow on the same channel for KMN's last broadcast for iSCAR. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight's broadcast. And yeah, I'm Liam Sheen. He's Kenneth Bueno, and we'll see you guys later.